Hi, I'm Michael Senoff, founder and CEO of HardToFindSeminars.com. For the last 5 years, I've interviewed the world's best business and marketing minds. Now my challenge is to build the world's largest free resource for online, downloadable audio business interviews. I've learned a lot in the last 5 years, and today I'm going to show you the skills you need to survive.
I had the list of the 900 people who all went to this J. Abraham seminar. It was in this big blue binder. It was spiral bound, and it just had all the names, the addresses, the dates that these people attended the seminar. And I found a company in the Yellow Pages who enters data, and I worked best off of a database. And I had all the information typed into a database, and it had all the numbers and addresses in there. And then I found a girl who was working for $7 an hour. I just needed someone to do some, laborious, hard work, which I didn't have time to do. And I did a lot of the hard work in calling all the numbers, trying to determine which numbers were still good. Now you figure 20% of the population moves every year, and I had a list that was 10 years old. So statistically, every number on the list, or everyone on the list, according to those figures, would probably have moved already. But that wasn't the case. There were still people there 10 years later in the same house with the same phone number. And then when I think about it, those are the people I really want, because I found more and more the people who moved had lost the stuff, in the move, or before they moved, they dumped all the material, okay? So I went through that list, found as many people as I could, and just started calling them. And what I would do is I'd call and I'd say, hey, this is Mike. This is probably going to be a really strange call, but I got your name from the list of all the people who went to the J. Abraham seminar 11 years ago or 10 years ago. They go, yeah, that was me. And I go, the reason I'm calling is I'm looking for a set of those protege training tapes. By any chance, do you still have those? Because if you do, I'd like to buy them off of you. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, you know human nature. I mean, come on, 10 years later, most of these people, first of all, most of the people who went to the seminar never did anything with it.
Right.
I mean, I would read letters from J. Abraham. They pay $20 grand. Jay offers all the services, all the support, all the material they need, all the training. But he didn't really understand that, human nature is he wanted 1,000 people out there promoting him because he was looking for a back end where people would come to him with deals, with joint ventures, you see?
Right.
He had 1,000 people out there in the marketplace who were going to probably try and bring him a deal and take a cut of the action. So he really had 1,000 eyes out there looking for deals, and all he needed is one or two big multi-million-dollar companies to do some marketing with. He could form some kind of arrangement. That was big money for him. So really, that was his ulterior motive. He also offered these proteges a chance to sell his stuff, and he was paying them like peanuts, like a 10 or 15, maybe 20% commission on all his products.
It's funny you'd think for $20,000 he would have enough leverage, like Tony Robbins would describe it, to go ahead and do the work.
Well, you would think so, but
$50, okay, I'll make something good out of this, maybe $20,000.
Well, it sure got him to show up. It did get them to listen to the material, but what happens is you're bombarded with so much information by the end of that seminar, your brain is just frozen. You're paralyzed. You get home and you're like, okay, what do I do? Where do I start? You're overwhelmed, and the stuff has to sink in. I mean, you and I both know, listen to this over and over and over again, it almost just becomes part of you. The more you're exposed to it, the more that sinks in, the more that things come together. You can't take a guy that has no marketing or especially no business experience, never run a business on their own, and expect them to absorb this stuff and be able to go out and do it. There's no way. And I have a business background. I mean, I've always been an entrepreneur. I've run businesses for many years. And I can relate to a lot of this stuff from being in a business and running a business. But a guy who's an accountant or has never run a business or never sold anything in their life, I mean, I consider myself a pretty skilled salesperson. Most people out there can't even pick the phone up. They're just terrified just asking for something. So it all comes down, in my opinion, I've given this a lot of thought to it, a level of confidence. And you only get that confidence through experience. And if you don't do anything, you don't have any experience. So there's no free lunch. As good as you're going to be, it's going to come from your confidence, and that's going to come from your experience, and your experience is going to come from actually doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I used to be more sales-oriented than marketing-oriented. And some people think it's the same thing, but to me it's not. I like writing better.
Right.
I like the idea of, and the Internet is really making this possible, I like the idea of, if I write a sales letter, if I write this sales letter for you, and once that letter's done, it's working for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of the website, then I can move on to other stuff, and all I've got to do is come in and tweak it and test things and change offers around. But basically, and it's like a book, same thing.
Yeah. Well, you're right, and that is what it's all about. That's the ultimate leverage. And what I first got into, before I even found marketing and got directed to the marketing and advertising, was sales. I mean, I studied as many sales books as I could. I had a brother who lived out in Washington, D.C., and I went to the Library of Congress in Washington, and I pulled up as many books as I could on sales, and I devoured that stuff. I wanted to learn how to sell. I thought that was the ultimate power. A lot of the great salesmen all started pounding on doors, direct sales, like a Kirby vacuum cleaner salesman. That was the best training. That's what I was first exposed to, was direct sales. Then I said, God, there's got to be a better way. And then when I saw marketing, which to me was leverage, and then when I understood the advertising and combining it with marketing, that was the ultimate leverage. And that's why you hear, you're one letter away from your next $1 million. It's so true. Because when you understand the power of marketing and markets and how big of a market the United States is and the world, even with the Internet, you do your sales letter, and if you can prove it's a winner in one zip code, and your market's big enough, it's all over. You're a millionaire as long as you can take care of the details. But learning salesmanship is number one first, and then multiplying it. Salesmanship multiplies. And, there's your leverage. So you're right on when you talk about a letter. It's nothing but salesmanship in print. But you can leverage it with the Internet, direct mail, with direct faxing, any form of duplicating that sales message. And that's exciting. That's definitely exciting to me. Back to all this buying and selling of this stuff, okay? The big revelation, like I said in my letter, was I find a guy who went to J. Abraham seminar, but then he'd have Gary Halbert stuff, and he'd have other stuff from other marketing people. And you hear Gary Halbert talk, when a guy's in heat, when you get hooked onto this stuff, you're hooked and you can't get enough of it as long as you're in heat and you're in that desire mode to learn and educate yourself. Because, I know from my experience, when I saw this stuff, this was powerful. To be able to have this knowledge, and especially all I had to do was implement it, this could just set me up for life. And I think that's what a lot of people see. But what I found, people had all this other stuff, and I started learning about joint ventures and endorsements. I realized that I had the ultimate leverage, okay? I'm like a parasite off of J. Abraham. He's building his name, he's investing time and doing the letters and the marketing and the postage and the testing, all that to build up his business, right?
Hi, it's Michael Senoff with HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching this video. Many of my interviews last 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, sometimes even up to 2.5 hours long. They're actual mini seminars, and you've just listened to a short sample of just one of over 117 hours of exciting, hard-hitting, mind-blowing interviews on how to make money in direct mail, advertising, copywriting. I assure you, there is not a resource anywhere on on the internet or on the planet that comes close to the free information I provide at hardtofindseminars.com. So go right now to hardtofindseminars.com and you'll have free access to 117 hours of audio interviews with typed word-for-word downloadable transcripts and downloadable MP3 files. Please browse some more of the videos or go right directly to hardtofindseminars.com. Thanks for watching.